I'm Leland Barclay, and I'm at the River Valley Democrat-Gazette offices in historic downtown Fort Smith. This is the River Valley Sports Report, brought to you by the Northwest Arkansas Democrat-Gazette and sponsored by Ashley Air. The atmosphere was electric on Friday night at Mayo Thompson Stadium for the game of the week between number 2 Conway and number 9 Northside. The headline read, "Conway uses late score to get past Northside." Conway quarterback Donovan Amalo scored on a 1-yard run with 22 seconds left to lift the Wampus Cats to a 23-21 win over the Grizzlies. Conway stopped Northside on a 4th and 1 with 2:17 left at the Wampus Cats 19 and then went 81 yards on the game-winning drive. After Poom Savoy intercepted a pass for Northside, the Grizzlies took a 21-17 lead on a 23-yard touchdown run by Sunquist Church with 5:12 left in the game. Conway head coach Keith Fimple commented about his team's win on Friday night.
That was one of those old-fashioned.
It was. I tell you what, really enjoyed it. Thought the kids played hard. Mike does a great job, his staff over at Northside. Anytime you can go into 7A Central and get a road victory, you'll take it. Like I said, it had to be great for the fans. It's great for us to watch the coaches, I can promise you.
Two things at the end. You got the defensive stop first, and then a great offensive.
Just keep growing on defense. I think they're playing really hard. I think they understand what they're doing. Like I said, comes down to 3 or 4 plays in 7A Central game. You just hope you make them.
Well, like you said, to go on the road in this conference and get a win.
Yes. It's huge. Huge. There's no doubt. Protect your home and try to get a couple wins on the road and then go from there.
Thank you very much.
Northside head coach Mike Fleur was happy with his team's effort despite the loss.
That was kind of an old-fashioned 7A Central game. Defense, running the ball, is hard-fought game.
Yeah, it was. Conway, we knew. I told our kids coming into this that 2 of the best teams in the state. I truly believe that, and it's going to come down to making the play, 1 or 2 here or there, and we had a chance to close it off on 4th and whatever it was, and didn't make it, and so then they made the play, went down, scored. So my hat's off to them, but my hat's off to our kids, the way they played. They got after it.
Well, like you said, the one play there on 4th down, that was a big play for them and you.
Yeah, oh yeah, for them. You make that and the game's over. You kneel the ball twice and the game's over 3 times, whatever it would have been. And we didn't make it, and then we didn't make the stop. So again, like I said, my hat's off to Coach Fimple and Conway. They did a great job. But again, I'm proud of our kids. We gotta win one of these games.
Headline: Charleston. Blocked punt for touchdown sparks Charleston blowout. In a game covered by Walter Woody, Charleston blocked a punt, and Brighton Ketter scored 3 plays later to give the Tigers a 22-8 lead at the half on the way to a 56-22 win over Hackett. Ketter ran for 3 touchdowns and caught a touchdown pass from Brandon Scott in the win. The win kept Charleston undefeated for the season, as well as give the Tigers a 2-game lead in the 3A1 conference with just 3 games remaining. A headline from Logan County: Booneville stout run game shreds visiting Baptist Prep. How true. Harold McAvane covered Booneville's 61-21 win on Friday. The Bearcats had 32 first downs, including 31 by rush, and gained 478 yards on the ground in the win. Mitchell Gladstone covered Friday's game between Van Buren and Parkview at War Memorial Stadium. Parkview took advantage of 4 turnovers, returning an interception for a touchdown, and ran for 270 yards behind Razorback signee James Jointer, who had 140 yards and 2 touchdowns. That's going to take us to halftime of the River Valley Report. We'll be right back after these words from our sponsor, Ashley Air, with Gimme 5, and a look at this week's Player of the Week and at this week's big games.
The Martins came over, we were having spaghetti when we suddenly noticed that we started getting sweaty as the temperature approached 90 degrees. My buddy said, man, you gotta call AshleyAir.com. When your air conditioner breaks, they're the one you want. AshleyAir.com. fast and they're good and they got it going on. The technician showed up the very same day. Got it fixed right and fast, he was on his way. When your air conditioner breaks, you know who to call. There's only one choice, AshleyAir.com.
Gimme 5. Here are the top 5 performances from last week. The Southside Mavericks scored a defensive touchdown, a special teams touchdown, had a rushing score, and a passing touchdown in a 50-28 win at Rogers Heritage on Friday. Dimitri Lloyd returned an interception 50 yards for a touchdown and a 7-0 lead, and Luke Wyatt returned a kickoff 99 yards for a touchdown for a 14-0 lead. Wyatt also caught touchdown passes of 70 and 70 yards, and Isaac Gregory and Amari Tucker ran for touchdowns. Number 2, Ozark amassed 404 yards of offense in a 47-8 win over Mena on Friday night. Eli Massingale had 125 yards and 2 touchdowns on the ground, and Landon Wright added 116 yards and 3 scores for the Hillbillies. Wright also returned a punt 67 yards and an interception 21 yards for 204 all-purpose yards. Number 3, Hackett's volleyball team defeated West Fork and Charleston last week to finish 3A West play undefeated at 11-0 and the regular season at 22-1-3. They will be participating in the 3A district tournament this week in Booneville. Booneville had 4 100-yard rushers in Friday's 61-21 win over Baptist Prep. Rylan Ray had 17 carries for 125 yards and 3 touchdowns. Rocky Ross had 5 carries for 116 yards and a score. Randon Ray carried 17 times for 109 yards and 3 touchdowns. And Dax Goff had 14 carries for 106 yards and a touchdown. That's an extremely rare feat in high school football. Number 5, Greenwood's Noah Embry finished first in the big school division of the Van Buren Cross Country Classic on Saturday with a time of 17 minutes flat. This week's River Valley Player of the Week is Fisher Wilson from Mansfield. He ran for 3 touchdowns and passed for 1 in a 28-23 win over Lincoln. For this week's River Valley Game of the Week, I will be back at the friendly confines of Jim Rowland Stadium where Southside will host Springdale Harbor. In other key games around the River Valley that we'll be covering, Walter Woody will be in Charleston where the Tigers will host Lincoln. Harold will be in Van Buren for the Pointers game against 6A West leading Lake Hamilton. In other gigantic games on Friday, Northside travels to North Little Rock and Greenwood travels to Benton. Alma heads down Interstate 40 again to play Valonia. Ozark is at Pottsville and Mountainburg travels to Conway Christian. If you are not a subscriber to the Northwest Arkansas Democrat-Gazette, you missed last week's River Valley Report where I talked to Northside's Mike Fleur about his 200th career win as a head coach. You also missed Harold's big story on Booneville's football-playing Ray family in Thursday's edition. You're also missing Rick's picks, and you're missing the front page of the Saturday edition of how the top 10 in the state fared on Friday night. You're also missing the most comprehensive stats in the state on Thursday compiled by Eric Taylor, along with scores, schedules, and standings that are put together every week by Mickey Doyle. As sports editor Chip Souza tweeted on Saturday, "Prep sports, it's what we do." Be sure to catch all of the photos by the award-winning Northwest Arkansas Democrat-Gazette photographers. They can be seen and purchased on our website at nwaonline.com/photo. So be sure to check those out online or in the digital edition of the Northwest Arkansas Democrat-Gazette. If you are not a subscriber, you can join our team by subscribing online at nwaonline.com and click the subscribe button, or by calling our customer service line at 479-684-5509. That's going to wrap up this week's River Valley Sports Report, sponsored by Ashley Air. We'll see you next week, and God bless you.